multiple platforms, so I just need 1 second to start streaming in our Instagram as well. Oh, I think it has started. So while I'm pressing buttons, okay, so I see that there is some problem with my stream. Can you tell me if you can see me, please? Okay, I will quickly restart this session. Oh, so no, I think everything is just fine. So thank you for joining us today. And welcome to our stream, which is devoted to worst pronunciation errors. Yeah, so while I'm pressing buttons and having technical issues, please answer one simple question. Do you know 3 absolutely innocent words in English that may turn into curse words actually if you don't pronounce them correctly? So 3 words in English that can possibly go awkwardly wrong. So please write them in chat if you have a guess. Today I will mention 3 of them. So anyone, do you have any guess which English word you may pronounce in the wrong way? So the English speaker will be even offended with what you say. So what to say? Personally, I think that the worst pronunciation errors happen when the communication process fails and the other person gets the wrong idea of what you meant. Okay, yeah, I have a wild guess. Yeah, Fairy Helen, you are quite right. Yeah. So that's actually what I wanted you to write and what I expected to see in the chat. Yeah, let's be a bit. Okay, so you mentioned beach, you mentioned sheet, and some other quite nice options, and but I wanted actually to start with another case, which is actually the case that we probably use every day. We use this word every day, and there is a very important pronunciation difference between these 2 similar words. So the first one is can't, which is the negative form of can. And another one, a very similar one, actually is a C word. I won't pronounce that on stream because it's an incredibly rude word. And it is arguably the rudest word in English language. And the common mistake when you want to say can't is to pronounce it with a short A. So the short A, like in the word blunt or stunt or front or stop. So short story, when I've been to London, I had a small talk with my Scottish mate, and he asked me something like, can I go surfing in your native city, blah blah blah, something like that. And I wanted to say, no, you can't. And by the look on his face, I realized that it sounded more like not you. And although English speakers they usually know what we mean after a second or 2, and still it does shock them a bit for a second, because this is what we call a C-bomb, or a C word, and this is extremely offensive. It is way worse than an F word. And this is what happens when you pronounce can't without this sound, without the long A. You pronounce it with a short A. So please avoid this mistake. So your point is to pronounce a clear A sound. And to make sure you're doing it right, you may try and prolongate this A sound. So try to pronounce it like can't a bit. And at first, it may sound weird, but it's better if you want to avoid these situations where you might accidentally say a curse word to someone. So yeah. And the same thing is with the words beach and sheet, which were mentioned in the chat. Unfortunately, I don't remember who mentioned them, but I've seen a couple of messages and you were quite right. We are going to talk about them as well. So the thing is, the good words here have the E sound, like the E sound, like in steel. The bad ones, although, are pronounced with the word I. This one. So what's the difference here? When I pronounce the E sound, my jaw is a bit tense, like E. And the space between my tongue and the roof of the mouth is quite small, E. So the way to make E sound, is just to make that space between the roof of my mouth and my tongue bigger. So it's like so E, seat, sit, wheel, will. So this is probably it. So now let's check out a bit less offensive, well, totally not offensive, but even more common cases with the words you probably use every day. And people often get these words wrong because they say them with 4 syllables. And these words actually have only 3. So the first one is vegetable. So you see, when we look at this word, we see 4 vowels in the word vegetable. And our brain starts processing, aha, there must be 4 syllables in here, but they are not. So we pronounce this word like vegetable, vegetable, vegetable. So yeah, you are free to practice with me, since I don't hear you and no one hears you, so you may practice and make mistakes, that's fine. So there is a, yeah, sure, you may ask your questions, go ahead, I will answer them. So the second word, which also looks like it has 4 syllables, but it actually hasn't, is the word comfortable. So the word comfortable doesn't have any 4 in this word. So when you pronounce this word, you want to pronounce it like comfortable, 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 right? So nor 4th syllable. And well, I decided to dwell on these cases because they bother me the most, because I hear these mistakes quite often and even sometimes make myself you can clearly see that my speech is also far from being perfect. And of course, there are huge lists with words that we pronounced wrong on a regular basis, actually. And it's quite normal. Yeah, it's it's normal even for the natives, because even those of us who achieved their proficiency in English, they still make mistakes. Even natives themselves make mistakes, and it's quite normal. Don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to make these mistakes. And this is actually how you master your speaking and pronunciation skills and avoid the worst mistakes possible. And I would like to give you 4 tips on how to make it more efficient. So, well, first tip is to, well, don't be afraid to mimic the way natives speak. So personally, I am studying proficiency English right now. I have a Skyeng tutor from England, from London, and you probably have noticed how her accent has slightly affected the way of me speaking. So sometimes you probably hear those Londonish sounds, but it is all very mixed up with also American English, because I'm watching a lot of American series, so it's all mixed up. So the key point here is not even the accent. So you should pay attention to the way they connect words and produce specific sounds. So make sure you open your mouth wide enough when it's needed, because it is usually the crucial point. We usually speak with our mouth half closed, and that's the thing that prevents us from sounding natural, because we are used to speaking not so distant. That's right. So that's why we need to communicate with our mouths open. So the second tip is to work with your diction in your native language. So if you discipline your speech organs while speaking your native language, it will for sure show in English. So try to do so. The third tip is to surround yourself with English speech. Try to listen to podcasts, watch films and series without translation or with the subtitles. It's better to form a habit rather than consider it a special activity, because we always miss those special activities when we are not in the mood, or when we don't have the time. So I have a question about the word was. So what about the word was? How to pronounce it? I've always said, so it's a short sound, and you found this transcription instead. So the thing with words like can and was and some other similar words is that when we pronounce them in the sentence, they are usually unstressed, unless it's well, we need to make a special stress on them to underline the meaning. So if I want to say that I was doing something, I pronounce it like with the schwa sound, at least in the speech flow. It's not as distinct as it may be if you pronounce it as a one word. So yeah, it is was, but in the speech flow it will be more like was, or can, which is absolutely usually it sounds with a sound, but in the speech flow you may hear it as can, like with a schwa. So the fourth tip for you today is to speak more with natives. And this advice is quite close to the previous ones. So you will start mimicking the right way to pronounce words if you hear them often enough, and also if you practice regularly. And you are asking me to give you some sites where you can watch original movies or series. So personally, I have a subscription to Netflix. I enjoy watching Netflix series a lot because they not only have like popular series, something like that, but they also have a lot of like sci-fi things or something documentary that can actually be good to you in educational ways. So I can also suggest that you visit this site. This is an educational site, which is so I'll leave the link later in the comments because I have some troubles posting it right now. So, and I also promised you to share some cool resources that you may use while teaching pronunciation to your students. And also, I think we may also use these sources to brush up our own pronunciation, because when you don't practice often enough, or when there are some troubles, you just need to check something of that. So the first source is called Pronunciation Courses by Anne Baker. So these pronunciation courses, I've just posted their titles in the chat. So there are actually 2 parts, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, tell me that in chat if there is a third part or maybe 4th. So I know 2 parts. So it's called 303, and this is an elementary course. And sheep, and this is like the next stage. These are quite useful when you need to work out, well, what's the difference between this and that sound, and if you really need to practice a lot this difference, it may actually help you to get rid of the accent or some common pronunciation mistakes that we all have sometimes. So my second advice for you would be this one. Yeah, New Headway Pronunciation Course. So I absolutely love this course because the Headway books always contain various exercises. So even if you focus on pronunciation only, you never get tired or bored, and you actually have to practice other skills at the same time, so you don't focus on pronunciation all the time. And the third suggestion for you is this one. I like it. This is, well, English Pronunciation in Use. This is a series of, if I'm not mistaken, 3 books, so elementary, intermediate, and advanced. This is just another series that should become your handbook. Extremely useful, extremely sourceful. And I think I'm being 5 minutes late for you today. I'm sorry it took too long to just provide all this information for you, but I'm sure that some of that will be useful, and I hope that you find the stream useful. So just leave a like, share this one, and I don't know, leave a comment to see what can I improve, what can I tell you about in the next streams, etc., etc. It was nice to see you. See you again next time. Have a nice day.